All right, today we are going to break down one of the most astonishingly simple security failures in history. We're talking about a single password that literally brought one of the world's most famous institutions to its knees.
$102 million. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's the value of priceless art that was stolen from the Louvre Museum in what should have been a totally impossible heist. I mean, this wasn't some clumsy smash and grab. It was more like a ghost operation that just slipped right past layers and layers of state-of-the-art security.
So, you have to be asking, how on earth did they do it? The thieves didn't use some sophisticated zero-day exploit or crazy advanced hacking tools. No, not at all. They exploited something far, far simpler. Something that was hiding in plain sight.
And here it is, the single point of failure. The password was Louvre. It's the perfect example of a simple digital mistake leading to an absolutely catastrophic physical crime.
Think about that. A single, ridiculously guessable password was the master key, the key to the museum's entire surveillance network. This one little word gave the attackers complete control over the digital eyes and ears that were supposed to be protecting all those priceless assets.
What's just so shocking here is the simplicity of it all. This single word, Louvre, was the master key to a $100 million disaster. It's almost hard to believe, right? And that's really the core of the story we're unpacking today.
You see, this one mistake, it violates the most fundamental rules of cybersecurity. This wasn't just about picking a bad password. Oh no, it was a complete and utter failure of core security principles.
So first up, authentication. Its entire job is to verify who is logging in. Is this person allowed to be here? Well, the password Louvre isn't a secret. It's a public fact. The system's #1 job was to confirm authorized access, and it just failed spectacularly.
And that failure brings us straight to the CIA triad. This is the absolute bedrock of information security: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. The thing is, the attackers didn't just crack one of these principles. They completely shattered all three. And here's how that failure just cascaded. Confidentiality? Broken the second they logged in. Integrity? Completely compromised because now they could alter or even delete the video footage. And availability? Well, that was eliminated. The whole security system was basically switched off at the exact moment it was needed most. Useless.
You know, to really understand how to defend against something like this, we first need to learn to think like an attacker. So let's take a look inside their playbook.
So who actually did this? Well, we're not talking about some elite state-sponsored hacking group. The profile points to an organized criminal group, and their motivation was simple: money. But here's the key. Their technical skills were surprisingly low. They didn't have to be geniuses. They just had to be logical.
The cyber kill chain. This shows us exactly how they pulled it off. Reconnaissance was just doing basic research on the museum, maybe finding out the brand of security system they used. Weaponization? That wasn't some complex malware. It was simply identifying the weak password. Delivery was literally just typing it in. Exploitation was the system saying, sure, come on in. And from there, they had command and control. And finally, actions on objectives, stealing the art. It was a perfect textbook attack.
So, the big question is, how could this $100 million catastrophe have been prevented? Well, the answer is with some incredibly basic, proactive measures.
I mean, a simple risk analysis would have been screaming red alert. The likelihood of someone guessing a password like Louvre for the Louvre's security system, come on, that's high. The impact if they succeed, catastrophic. This should have been the #1 top priority thing to fix, period.
And finding it would have been so easy. Any one of these standard tests, running a password auditing tool, doing a simple configuration review, or even hiring some friendly attackers for a penetration test, any of them would have instantly flagged this glaring weakness.
And the fix? It wasn't complex. It wasn't expensive. It was simply applying cybersecurity fundamentals. Change the password, enforce strong password rules, add a second factor of authentication, and, maybe train your staff. That's it. That's all that stood between safety and a massive disaster.
So, what are the golden lessons we can all take away from this incredible story? Let's break down the key takeaways. First off, security is a chain. Your digital and your physical security aren't in separate worlds. They are completely 100% intertwined. A simple password failure led directly to a massive physical theft. One broke, the other. Second, the fundamentals, they matter most.
You can have the most expensive, state-of-the-art security cameras in the entire world, but they are absolutely useless if the basics, like strong authentication, are just ignored.
And finally, you have to be proactive, not reactive. It is always cheaper and more effective to find your own weaknesses before an attacker does. A little bit of testing could have prevented this entire heist.
So this whole story really leaves us with one crucial question to ask ourselves. What's the obvious, simple vulnerability in your world? What is your Louvre password? Because finding it before someone else does, well, that's the most important lesson of all.